Part 2 of reasonably expected exceeds that we will be getting in Zexal. This is not a wish list. This is not demands. These are predictions of what we should reasonably be expecting from the Zexal era and what those cards do. Also, with the chat's favorite exceed of every rank, let's get to it. Fools!
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. Let's go.
Reasonable level 6 exceeds. Gauntlet Launcher. 2 level 6 exceed monster, or I should say 2 level 6 monsters, just regular monsters. Very simple. Detach, destroy a monster on the field. It's a small 2400 attack. It's pretty bad, but we'll see. If you could summon it very easily, maybe it will have more to do with it being an earth or a warrior that might be beneficial. Okay. We also have Insector Exa Beetle. Any 2 level 6 monsters. Well, before we get to this, what's a reasonable, relatable way to make a level 6 exceed? Maybe any of these. Well, if we scroll down, this, Periton. We're looking at some older cards. Now, this on the field can send a fire from your hand to the graveyard, then tribute itself to summon 2 Hazy Flames from your deck. When you do that, make sure both of the Hazy Flames you summon from the deck are going to be both level 6. And then you could pretty much make any of these level 6s we're talking about. Now, if you noticed, the Exa Beetle only at 1000 attack, 1000 defense, very small. But on summon, it will target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, in either player's graveyard that is, equip it onto this card, then you'll gain attack and defense equal to half of the original attack and defense of the monster that's equipped onto this, so it gives it a little boost. But the main effect you want to do is detach a material to target a face-up card on both sides of the field, maybe the card you just equipped onto the Exa Beetle. Send Do Not Destroy to the grave. So Brave Neos, we know it's got protection from destruction, and the Exa Beetle will counter that. All right, now moving on to Hieratic Dragon King of Adem. This was a big card for Hieratics, so again, please reprint the Hieratics, then give us this card. It's going to be 2 level 6 dragons. You're going to special summon a dragon from the deck, and that just creates lots of combos for the Hieratics. Now, Photon Strike Bouncer. This is one of my favorite level 6 exceeds. This one's crazy, and I do expect it. Now, it does inflict 1000 damage after you negate the effect of a monster your opponent controls, but because of Lava Golem being reduced to 500, this will probably also be reduced down to 500 damage. So basically it's got 2 effect monster quick play negates and then also inflicting 1000 damage, which will probably be reduced. Chat's favorite level 6 exceed. Now, this is kind of cheating. It's not a real level 6 exceed. You're not going to use level 6 monsters to exceed summon into it. Instead, you're going to summon the Cyber Dragon Nova, which we talked about earlier, and you just put this on top of it. This is one of the craziest exceeds I've ever seen. I have no experience with this myself. What it does, it will yoink a face-up monster, making it a material of your Infinity Cyber Dragon. You're going to gain 200 per material and just straight up negate anything. Anything. If they activate something, and it's just once per turn, so I guess that's the big downside of this card, only negate once, monster spell trap, discard, negate, and destroy. So that's insane. Yoink, but boost, negates. No way we're getting this, but it's chat's favorite level 6 exceed for that reason. Reasonable level 7 exceeds. Now, how do we make a level 7? Level 6 was tough enough. Well, level 7's actually easier because we can use Navigation. Navigation activates, summon Dark Magician and another Dark Magician or a Dark Illusion. You got 2 level 7s on the field, and Dark Magician doesn't even really use its extra deck too much. They maybe got 1 Cavalry in there, so double Dark Magician, get Exceed Shoconning. These 2 cards we're about to talk about are going to be a great benefit to Dark Magician. Another crazy way to level 7 exceed, thank you to Twitch chat, is Elements Unite. Now, this will probably prevent Konami from ever giving us something that's way too powerful, because this will start the duel With 3 level 7 monsters on the field, you start at 500 life. You have a Gate Guard in your hand. We don't care about that. You're going to have a Kazajin, Suijin, and the Senga, all level 7, and you can immediately exceed. So that's going to be kind of nutty if they give us something that's incredibly powerful that maybe requires 3 level 7 exceeds. Nothing that we talk about is going to really be abusing this, but maybe an exceed I'm not familiar with that's super broken. Now let's talk about them. Big Eye. This will simply steal a monster forever. It's yours. You cannot attack with the eye that turn. So double Dark Magician, yoink it. There you go. Can't attack with the eye, but now you got a new monster. And then we have the Dracosac. This was a very popular card back in the day. I believe this was about $100+. You needed like 2 to 3 of this card to play what was once a tier 0 deck, but it was not a Mecha Phantom Beast deck, because this does not require Mecha Phantom Beast to create. Any 2 level 7 can make this. Why was this card so good? Well, with 3 monster zones, it will be not as good as with 5 monster zones, because when you summon it, you're going to summon 2 tokens. You're going to detach a material with 2 tokens. Now you filled up your entire field. It's at 2200 defense, 2200 attack, 2600 attack, that is. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects as long as you have a token on the field. Now what you could do is once per turn, tribute a token, pop any card in the field, but then you cannot attack. So it's pop 1 and can't attack. So it's very well protective and controls the fields. Not too broken, but looking pretty good. I would love to see this. And then Abyss Gaios. Abyss Gaios is very powerful. It's going to require maybe a Megalo and Abyss Tias to summon 2 UR cards from 2 different boxes, which is not cool. 2 level 7 waters. I do expect them to give us this, but please give us a way to reprint these cards. Level 5 or higher monsters cannot attack while this is on the field. And then Exceeds do not have a level, by the way, so if you're facing another Exceed player, they can attack right through this effect. The quick play effect is detach one of your monsters to negate all face-up monsters your opponent controls with less attack than this. So this will be quite spicy. And then Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. 2 level 7s. Well, the Red Eyes Black Dragon is level 7, so you put 2 of them together. Now, this says every time your opponent activates a card or effect, they take 500 damage. And Konami did say that the card effects from Exceeds will likely be reduced by half of their effect. So instead of burning for 500, you're going to burn for minus 250 Keck W. So you can't just make this, then sit on back row, then they activate enough cards to destroy themselves. So there you go. Also, can't be destroyed by effects as long as it has a material. And you could detach a material to special summon a Red Eyes from your graveyard. Very interesting. Chat's favorite level 7 Exceed. Does not even require spellcasters to summon it. Any 2 level 7s will make this, and it's 2500 attack. And also, you could place this on top of a rank 6 Exceed spellcaster instead to summon it. So you don't need 2 Dark Magicians, but you could. And its effect is, you can special summon a Dark Magician from your hand or deck. Also, when a Dark Magician attacks, you get to banish any card on the field. So it's kind of nutty. It'll make Dark Magician decks much better. Now we're talking about reasonable level 8. Now this is going to be impossible to summon, right? Wrong. We're looking at a combo. A combo could be just Maiden and a Sage. You activate Sage, you target the Maiden. Maiden summons a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck. Sage summons a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck. And then you could very easily make a level, or I should say a rank 8, Exceed. Reasonably, I expect us to get Felgrand. This is 2 level 8 monsters. It's 2800 attack, so imagine downgrading your 3000 attack Blue Eyes White Dragons down to 2800. It best be worth it. Well, this is quite worth it. Quick play, it can detach your Blue Eyes or whatever you have as a material to negate a monster or make a monster unaffected by other card effects, including itself. So if they were to maybe Raigeki Break or Karma Cut this card, detach a material, target itself, now it's unaffected by that Karma Cut. If they activate a Squire on summon, whatever, detach, negate their monsters. So that's quite powerful. Instead, you could put your Blue Eyes White Dragons together to make a Hieratic Sun Dragon. What does this do? At 3,000 attack, you could tribute any number of monsters you control and or in your hand to destroy without targeting your opponent's cards. Without targeting. Pop back row, pop monster. That's powerful. Or if you don't want to tribute your own cards, you could summon the Thunder End Dragon. Now, Thunder End Dragon does require normal monsters that are level 8 to create this, where the previous ones could be any level 8 monsters. This will detach to destroy all other monsters on the fields, and it's not going to require you to tribute or discard, so it's more efficient than the Hieratic Sun Dragon. But you can't destroy back row with it. Now we have the Puppet Giant Grinder. What does this do? Up to twice per turn. By the way, its stats are weak. 1,500 attack, 2,500 defense. The effect better be amazing. It's pretty good, decent. Up to twice per turn, you will destroy a special summoned monster. And if that monster was an Exceed, then you get to deal damage equal to its attack. That's a lot of damage with 4K Life Duel Links. Got very weak stats. And maybe Konami might consider to reduce it even more, maybe inflict half of the original attack instead of the full original attack if we're going to go based off of the Lava Golem change for the future Exceeds. Now we have a monster that cannot be Exceed summoned from the Blue Eyes White Dragons. This will require, this is a bet that I think we'll get something like this, 2 level 8 dark monsters. We didn't really talk about how to summon this. I just expect to get it based off its effect. It's huge, 4,500 attack. Now, it's like a Magician Navigation that can negate any face-up card on the field, including a monster. They got to put itself in a defense to do so. And it's at 1,000 defense. So you basically completely sacrifice this card to negate any card on the field. Now, chat had 2 favorite level 8 Exceeds, so we're going to go through both of them. And that was, again, I'm going to remind you, these are not expected to come with Zexal. This is just what the chat wants to see, or their favorite. Triple D, Exceed. What does this do? 2 level 8 double Ds. Well, I have a double D video that's already out or coming out soon where I easily summon double Beowulf on the field multiple times every game. And that's basically what will create this. So if you get to create this on summon, negate everything else. And nothing else can be activated. They cannot Floodgate, they cannot Karma Cut. If they had any of those cards, they had to use it on the Beowulfs. By the time you Exceed, your opponent is completely shut down just for that turn. Now, you have a quick play effect of detaching one of your Beowulfs to destroy all back row on the field. Or, as an ignition effect, you could detach more than once per turn to set a Dark Contract from the grave onto your field. That's the core of a double D deck, the Dark Contract cards. So that's a pretty cool card. And then we have this card. This is the Harbinger. Harbinger says, negate a spell once per turn, then suck up that spell. So it's kind of like a Silent Magician at 3,000 attack. 2 level 8 monsters. 2 Blue Eyes could make this. Also, if your opponent attacks, you could redirect the attack onto this monster. So it protects your other monsters, it protects your life if they attack directly, and you're negating a spell once per turn. It does have another effect, but I don't really want to go into it. The chat said it doesn't really happen. Now, bonus round, level 9 Exceeds. These did not exist when I played Yu-Gi-Oh!, or at least I don't remember them. They were never summoned, so I fully needed help from chat. These are not my bets on what we're going to get. The chat thinks that we're going to get this card. You let me know, is the Twitch chat crazy, or is this reasonable? The Jormungar, this crazy boss. You could use 2 level 9s. You could use 3 level 9s to make this, 2 or more. Now, per material, you have 1,000 attack. Otherwise, it's 0-0. Now, what you could do is detach, which makes you lose 1,000 attack, to make both players draw a card. Then both players look at their hand, and they pick a card to attach as a material onto your monster. So if you are at 2,000 attack from 2 level 9s, you detach, you go down to 1K, both players attach onto your big worm, and now it's 3,000 attack. That's pretty cool. Now, the chat's favorite level 9 Exceed is the True King of all calamities. What this basically does is negate all opponent's monsters, and they cannot attack. Totally balanced. Nice. Good job, chat. And an extra little bonus that I maybe didn't feel like it was worth making an entire video for is older cards that will support the XYZ Shokan. There were way more ideas than this, but I think the ones that stood out, I just threw it into a deck list so you could look at these cards, read these cards, think about these cards, use the website. If you see a level 4 XYZ that you like, this is what you should do on duelingsmeta.com. You click on the little magnifying glass, you click on popularity. If it's a level 4 XYZ, for example, you will type level 4. I know it's ranked, but we're gonna do it like this, level 4, then not even XYZ, just level 4, that's it. These are the most popularly used level 4 monsters. These are cards that are reaching King of Games or topping tournaments within the last 3 weeks. So if you want to do, maybe you have a fairy card that just came out, you would type level 3, and then you would write fairy. So these are the level 3s that you would use. Then you could put in fairy. Maybe these are the fairy cards you could be using. Wow, I didn't even know. Weather Painter could be using a level 3 fairy XYZ deck, or maybe just a level 3 XYZ deck itself. So those are some great ideas, and these are what they are. We got Boro for special summoning, Kizan special summon, Chameleon special summon from the grave, Wielder special summon from the hand if you control level 3, Diva, summon a Diva from the deck to make a level 2. That's a great way to make a level 2. That should be added all the way up with the level 2 relatable way to XYZ. Hammer Shark, Yosenju. The Gamma's going to summon from the hand. We got the balls with the Venus. Beetle will summon more beetles. We got the Gearjas. You could summon as a level 4. Or you could summon a level 3 with the Gearja. Got Tracker, Ball, Morella, the Paleozoics. They are all level 2s that could summon from the graveyard if you activate traps. Some ideas, not all. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Loving it. Fools!